Hello, today I have Juneid from Mauritius here. Hi,
Aisha, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. Good to see you after so long.
Yes, and thank you for coming. So, could you tell me what's the situation like?
Mauritius, in fact, what happened is that we had our first case on the 18th of March. So we had three cases that were reported. So that's how it started. Today we're standing at about I think 324. Unfortunately, nine people passed away. But for the past 2 days, the good news has been we haven't had any reported case. So for two consecutive days, it has been zero. So on that side, I think the news is very encouraging. The country is locked down until the 4th of May. So we have 2 more weeks in front of us. But we are seeing encouraging signs over the past days. But through this pandemic has changed all our lives, be it at home, relating to work, relating to our daily habits. Everything has changed.
And can you go outside, or is there also lockdown
No,
like in
no,
other countries?
no, for us, what happened at the start, there was what they call the confinement. So we were told at the beginning just to stay home, for everybody to follow the guidelines. But I think after 2 3 days, then a full lockdown was imposed. So right now there's a full curfew. So the whole country is under curfew except for essential services. There was a bit of mix up at the beginning because what happened is that everything was closed from one day to the other. So supermarkets, shops, nothing was allowed to open. But this led to kind of a social crisis because people didn't have food. Some people didn't stock up. Some people did not have enough, and some people live on a day-to-day basis. So it created some issues. So
Oh,
supermarkets open, then closed, and then finally now we've opened them again, but on an alphabetical order basis. So just to give you how it works. So for example, on Monday it's A to I think H, or something like that, and then the alphabets have been split in three. So all people, your family name. So you have at least 2 days during the week to go shopping, to go to the supermarket if you need to. But it's very controlled right now. Police on the streets, controls are being effected. So we're under curfew. We're under curfew. No one is allowed to go out. Most people are respecting it. Unfortunately, like everywhere, you have some who feel that they can go out, they can do whatever they want. But my I think most people are aware of the danger and are being very respectful of the curfew. Unfortunately, there is always this minority group everywhere who tends to go out and not respecting the orders.
so is
So
there any fine if somebody doesn't respect the rules?
there's a fine. There's a fine. I think the fine is 500 rupees, which is quite minimal, and I think there's you can be in prison as well for a certain period of time, which is minimal. But I think most people are being warned. So some of them are being fined. Most people are being warned, to go off the street. The police have been, I think, they are saying about maybe 200 to 500, depending on the days, the number of fines that they have given to people. But this is how it is. Mauritius is small. That's the other issue. You see, compared to where we were in Birmingham, for example, or UK or even Czech Republic, you could go everywhere you want. But here, going from one side of the island to the other, it's a matter of maybe 1 hour, or even less, depending on how fast you drive. But basically. It's very small. So to prevent people from going from one side to the other, it has been difficult in some places. But right now, I think, especially with the number of deaths that we've had, some people have
Mhm.
realized, nine people for 1.5 million population, like for 1.3 population like Mauritius, is quite a high figure. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, and when you said that it's opening on based on alphabetical order, it means alphabetical order name of the shops or like people
No,
who.
no. The family name. The family name.
Oh,
For example, my name is Kudabux, I'm K. So I have to go on the second day. So my turn comes on Tuesday and Fridays. and then it's your family name. So that's how you are guided to, and that's how you proceed. Uh, at the start, there was quite, because it was closed for some time and then the supermarkets opened. On the first days, it was a bit chaotic because everybody wanted to rush. And at the back of the mind of many people as well, there was this fear that the shops may close again. So many people went out on the streets, tried to buy as much products as they could. So that's what happened at the very start. Right now, I think I haven't gone out personally to the supermarket. I'm not taking the risk, I must say, but I know the people who have done it are telling me that the queues have gone down. There's not much the chaotic situation as there was before, but I think right now people are understanding it and getting used to it. So let's see how it goes on.
So when you go shopping, apart from the day when you can go shopping, is there any other restriction?
You can, in fact, you can go out for any emergency. So, for example, if you have to go out to the pharmacies have been open all the time. If you have to go out for medical treatment, you can go out. Now, the supermarket, they have not imposed kind of locality restrictions. So you can go wherever you want. But for example, I live in Port Louis, the capital city. Definitely, you don't expect me to go to the south of the island for shopping. If I'm seen in the south, the police will ask me, I mean, why did I come all the way? So people are adjusting to it. So essential services, if you need to go to the pharmacy, you need to go see a doctor, you can go out, proving you have to prove that you're going out for that reason. You can go out, for example, to buy essential stuff, but restricted to the day that you have to go out. True, some people have not been respecting the alphabetical order, but so far you're not moving outside of going far away from where you are. I think it's okay, but the idea is to stop crowd gathering. So that's what has happened right now. But really, our whole habits have changed. I mean, we are all used to go to work, the working days, children going to school. Now we have to stay at home, working from home. For me personally, it hasn't the I mean, because I'm based in Mauritius and I work across Africa, so I'm very used to the online system, joining calls, joining video conferences, doing telephone conversations with my colleagues and with partner financial institutions. But personally, true, now you have to adjust. I mean, you at home, I had to create like kind of a working space. I had to bring my printer from office, for example, home. All these kind of things change. And now I've got two young kids, so you have to handle them as well at the same time. And now you can see how, I mean, basically everything has changed in terms of habits, in terms of how we do things, how do we organize ourselves. But it's going fine. I think we all understand the risk and the danger of this crisis. And when we have to be very careful, we have to be very careful.
And what about if you want to go abroad? I guess you can't go, can you?
No, right now there is a total ban on any commercial flights. What has happened is that surprisingly as well, we have stopped our own citizens from coming back to the country. So right now, no one is allowed to come to Mauritius. Even a Mauritius citizen who is abroad cannot travel back to the country right now. Unless you're given, like the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Ministry of Health have allowed them to come back. What happened on the 18th when they put the lockdown, the full lockdown? They said that all flights, after a few days, that all flights are being cancelled in and out of Mauritius, except for cargo. Cargo planes are still arriving, so we're still receiving foodstuff and medical things via cargo. But in fact, all commercial flights have been suspended. So there's no commercial flight right now. Those people who came back at the very start were all put into quarantine, but right now most of them, I think, are going out. The only thing that is happening is that people, for example, there were people from foreigners who were in Mauritius. For example, I know that I think tonight there's a flight from Air France. The French government is sending a flight to Mauritius from Air France. So French people or even other nationalities who want to go back to their country or back to France, they will be able to go out. They will have to pay for it, but they're able to go out. I know some other countries as well. I know we were in discussions with Russia for them to come pick up their citizens, and I think some other countries as well. But right now, it's no flight at all. I mean, for me, I'm used to be traveling almost every month right now for work purposes. Right now,
Mhm.
we can't do that. I think it's a risk as well because going
Yeah.
out, coming back, will definitely be in quarantine, and there's so many unknowns with this virus that we really don't know. We really don't know.
Yeah, especially at the airport. I think that's the most dangerous place right now.
True. I mean, if you look at it, I mean, the number of people that we meet at the airport. I mean, I think there is this kind of we are more than careful right now. I mean, if you look at it, if you're someone in the plane sitting next to you, you're just walking in the airport with people landing from different from different destinations. Then finally, you may be thinking to yourself, that's the ideal hotspot for any kind of virus of this type to spread. So yes, I think airport right now is a tricky place to be at, definitely. But the way this is going, and when you look at what is happening abroad as well, it's very sad. I mean, the US, UK, Italy, we've seen what happened in China. So we are all
Yeah.
very, very scared of what's going to happen. And I think economically as well, finance
Yeah.
wise, this will
Hmm.
have major, major impact. For us, Mauritius, we rely heavily on tourism. So right now, aviation is almost zero, commercial aviation. Tourism, we don't expect tourists to be coming in. This will have an impact on employment. Uh, our export, we cannot export our products right now. So again, Mauritius being an island, that's an issue. So if you look at it, it will affect us majorly. And I've seen the IMF report this morning. The way things are going on, we're expecting a recession. I don't think we shouldn't be kidding ourselves on that. It is coming. Inflation is going to rise up as well. So I think major issues. I think my issue right now, there's this big scare, but I think post COVID-19 as well, what's going to happen? Unfortunately,
Exactly.
we're
Hmm.
seeing many job losses. If you look at it, it's bound to happen, unfortunately, because some businesses not getting enough income will have to lay off employees. Those who have enough reserves, I think, will be able to manage, but no income definitely means they cannot pay their expenses, and indirectly, this will lead to consequences. Mauritius, what they've done, I mean, we've set up a wage assistance scheme. So the government right now, for any company that is in cash flow issues, provided that you're duly registered with the tax authorities and all, you're able to recoup 50% of the salaries that you have been paying. So that was done for the month of
Hmm.
March. So now I haven't heard anything for the month of April right now. I didn't follow on that one, but I hope there'll be something similar. They've done something as well for the informal sector. So self-employed people. So they as well have received, I think, 5,100 rupees. So they've been receiving that from the government. They have to go through the process of registering themselves with the Mauritius Revenue Authority, and then they get that. Uh, that's it. But it's creating a social issue if you look at it. I mean, people not getting paid, cannot feed themselves. Those who have reserves are able to sustain themselves. Now we are seeing the authorities, what they've been saying is that we have stock, and I'm sure we have stock of
Hmm.
basic necessities. But the issue right now is that unfortunately some unscrupulous traders as well are coming into play. I think most people are being understanding, but some of them are trying to make off money off people. So hoarding stuff, selling them at a higher price.
Yeah.
So definitely that's an issue. Other thing as well, I think if you look at it, I mean, uh, those at the lower scale, those who are at the poverty levels, those who are really, really like kind of in dire need of things. I think Mauritius, I mean, the people of Mauritius generally were all generous. There's a solidarity which has always been here. I mean, it has always existed. And I'm really, really happy. I mean, if you look at it right now in this time of crisis, you see how people are going out. I mean, youngsters, in associations, NGOs going out to distribute food to people, those at the lower end scale really of the society. This is happening. This is, I think, for me, the positive coming out of it, of all these things that we're all really coming together to help. Now, the government as well has given, I think, 35,000 basic food packs to those who are registered on what we call the social register. So those are at the really low end of the scales of poverty. So people are helping each other, but still there's a scare going on. Now those who have old age people at home, you don't want to take the risk by going out of coming back with the virus. So this is really alarming. But I think right now, I think we need to really hats off to our police officers, to the doctors, to the frontliners. I mean, these guys are doing something. I mean, it's part of their job, but I think putting their lives at risk. In fact, for all our protection, I think we really need to thank them.
Mm-hmm. Do they have enough equipment for covering themselves?
You see, having followed that, I mean, I'm a bit. I mean, I would say yes. Right now, yes. If you look at it at the start, maybe no. That's my honest answer to you. But I think right now we've had Jack Ma, who gave us a big donation, in fact, to all African countries. And thanks to him for that. I mean, the foundation came and gave medical equipment and those hazard suits, and then those masks. They have given us quite a number. I know that a plane landed, an Air Mauritius plane, landed 2 days ago. Is I think they mentioned 2 million masks. That's what they said. But the minister confirmed that this will only be used by the hospital, those personnel, the frontliners. I think this is right. This is justified. But through what have we seen as well? I mean, equipment-wise, I think it is coming in. Better late than never. But I think this will be protection for the staff that are working, the frontliners. We've seen. I'm quite surprised by local factories as well adjusting themselves. Those producing textiles for abroad, they are now producing masks and producing those suits. I mean, with whatever
very well.
materials they have. So I think people are pulling in together. Mauritius, we are always known to be very kind of a strong population, very closely linked. I think we're all doing the needful, pulling in together, helping each other, and I hope this continues. And I hope this pandemic stops. I mean, we find a treatment ASAP, because if this goes on, definitely the whole system will change.
Yeah, I think it will have impact on the entire world. We will only see what will happen later. Nobody can predict it now.
No doubt on that. I mean, already I'm reading since the 1930s, this is the worst economic depression that we'll be having. So I think socially, financially, on all aspects of life, this will impact fully. I mean, let's pray that we find a treatment ASAP, and then everybody gets out of it, and no infected patients in Mauritius and all around the world. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. If that's true, we can only pray now.
Definitely.
Okay, so thank you so much for telling me about the situation in Mauritius.
Thank you, Ika. Thank you very much. Keep safe. My regards to the family. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye.